My name is Scott Whitesides and I'm a sales engineer at Lumics. Today I'm going to walk you through a few key features of Lumics and how it can help you in your environment. Lumics is a simple, modern, fast infrastructure monitoring solution that I know will make your job easier. First, I want to talk about how Lumics helps you to stay focused on projects and business critical decisions and not get you weighed down with all the noise. As you log into Lumics for the first time, this is something similar to what you would see. This is our global dashboard or our company dashboard. You can see here we have the current status of this environment and we have widgets that can be grabbed and adjusted accordingly. You can see the information here is presented as a global overall status of the environment. As we scroll down, it's broken up into portions and sections about different information. Lumics allows you to focus on what's important in your environment, and as events come in, these events are presented in different ways, and they can all come into the events pane. As they're here, you can search that events pane, and you can also find acknowledged events or past events. That same information can be found under the events pane dashboard or the events dashboard. You can review old events or find any that are ongoing. You can load as many as you'd like, and you can search based off of priority or any other type of filtering that you would like to do. So as you can tell, there could be potentially a lot of information that comes through the Lumics dashboard. So one way that you can combat that and reduce that noise is using schedules. Within Lumics, you have the ability to create custom schedules that can be used to help reduce the amount of events that are sent to you or events that populate up on your dashboard. Now, to add a new schedule, you can simply add one here. We can call it demo. We can call that working hours. And we're going to go ahead and choose the type here. We're going to pick a recurring range. We're going to add the dates that we would like that to happen, which is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're going to start that at 8 a.m. and we're going to end that at 5 p.m. Once that's created, we can save that, and we now have that information to work off of for applying this to across the environment in a number of ways. The reason this can be helpful is because as an engineer, being woken up in the middle of the night can be a common occurrence. Unfortunately, when this phone call turns out to be, or text or email turns out to be a false positive or a non-critical event, this causes frustration and it also causes wasted time. There are certain situations that you may want to know about the event, but you did not need to know about it off hours. It could wait till morning or no one was on site to help resolve it. This customization is completely up to you, and this way, when you do finally get that call or text or email, you know it's a valid, actionable item. Now that we have a schedule created, what can we do with it? We're going to move over into the actions section, because once an event comes into Lumics, all of the events will populate on the events pane. They will populate here. We can pin that open so we could always have visualization there. But if you're not logged into the app or you're not watching it maybe as closely as you were expecting, you can utilize actions. Now, actions are created here under the Actions tab, and to create an action, we just simply select Add, and this action can be a post to a Slack channel. It can be an email or a text message. If you want a distribution list to be notified, this is where you would do that. And once you know that, you just simply create it here, save it, and now that action is here for us to use in association with our action sets. We also have the ability to, via webhook, send into a ticketing system. You can send to PagerDuty or Opsgenie. Really, the options are all in your hands when you're using Lumics. Action sets are identifying exactly which event is tied to the action. So if we knew we're going to use an HTTP down event here, and we select we can filter here based off of the HTTP module is unreachable, and we're going to add our action. We're going to add our action here as the one we just created called demo. Now this has all the other logic for how this action set will run. It will run after X minutes, and then we can also filter based off of device. So if we only have a single device that we would like this to happen on, we can select that here. And we're going to go ahead and pick this firewall, and we would apply and save. Now we have that action set. It will go ahead and email that distribution list once this device triggers on this event, device unreachable on the HTTP module. Go ahead and cancel that one and move into talking about dashboards. So with Lumics, we have the ability to come back to the main dashboard here. This global company dashboard is viewed by everyone, but you have the ability to create your own dashboards, and you can also share those dashboards. And I'm going to go ahead and view a shared dashboard to talk about one of our favorite features at Lumics, and that is our min-max graphing. Now, as I talk about this, you can see we have a simple chart, a graph that everyone has seen before, and we have our time range. And the piece that's important here is to notice the difference as I change past 1 hour and I go out to 7 days, 30 days, 3 months, and last year. So on this graph we have our averages, and first I want to talk about how we generated this graph. If we select the actual, we have a firewall, and we're only graphing this selected interface, which is our outside circuit, which we know is the office internet. And we have our two solid lines for our receive and our transmit here, and these are the averages. Now with most graphing, what happens is we take these averages and we just take an average of an average and then another average over time. And at Lumics, what we did is we actually have taken the minimum and the maximum data points throughout that same duration of time and presented them all on the graph, so you actually get an accurate picture of what's happening in your environment. So watch as I change the time here. I'll first start with 7 days, and we can see we have some new shaded areas that have been introduced into the graph. And these shaded areas are our maximum points. So going from our average up to our maximum, we can get an accurate picture that something definitely was utilizing the circuit more than our average would have led us to believe. Now as I continue to move, take note of how fast this information is presented to us. I'll stay at 30 days. You can see our average line is starting to slowly shrink. And then I will go to 3 months. And then finally 1 year of information. So we have, over that full year, we can now see our average line has completely shrunk and is basically useless. But thanks to Lumics, we have all the critical points, and if we wanted, we have the ability to say what happened during this time frame, to zoom in and find out exactly what's happening on our network during this time. So if we hear of complaints or slowness across the environment, we have a quick ability to check our circuits, and Lumics allows you that information quickly and easily at your hands. I want to also just show the difference between, if I go back to our 1 year, what it would look like without our min-max graphing. And we can go ahead and toggle that off here, and we just see that we get our average, which going here we can tell that we are definitely not using only 20 meg based off of this results here. Lumics is a critical piece during troubleshooting exercises, and we've had multiple instances where we've heard from customers where their employees were complaining of slowness across the network and there was no clear indicator of the culprit. Multiple teams were checking their environments and it all seemed to be operating as expected. Within a few quick clicks, Lumics has been able to help pinpoint the problem by using our min-max graphing and identify that this circuit in question was actually running into a bandwidth limitation. So a quick call to the provider confirmed that the circuit was misconfigured on the provider side and the issue is resolved. So with this knowledge, Lumics allows you to verify both that you're getting the bandwidth that you're paying for, confirm you're not overutilizing, and also help you identify what is consuming that bandwidth. So I want to talk quickly about that because you can see here we have the widgets down below. Now these are NetFlow widgets that come from being enabled on the firewall. And as we change, you can notice that those widgets also update. So that information is quickly presented and we can make accurate decisions and provide great feedback for anyone that has any questions or identifying any issues. Additionally, as we have these graphs here, you can size them, you can change them to be across the length of the whole screen, or you can leave them how they are. You do have the ability to drag and drop them. In this case, this dashboard is shared, so I cannot modify it, but I could create one from this report. If I click to new dashboard from the current, I can copy it. The last feature I wanted to talk about was at Lumics, security is one of our top priorities. We're focused on providing you with a secure environment and want to also allow you to know that the Lumics is a strong security tool. You can utilize our two-factor authentication for sign-on. Our collectors are Linux-based and do not save customer data. And I wanted to quickly walk you through what it's like to configure and enable the two-factor authentication, and then show you how simple it is to sign in with that as well. So if we come to our manage policies, and we come to our two-factor policy, by default, when this is enabled, the email two-factor is always there, and then we have the ability to send a text message, and then also if you have a authenticator app, you have the ability to use that. We can choose to disable two-factor across the environment. You can choose the duration you'd like to remain on, or the history, and then we can also enable it to be forced per user role across the environment. So in my case, I've already enabled mine, so I'm going to go ahead and log out and sign back in here. And because I have the text message set up for my account, I'm going to go ahead and request that text message, which should come to my phone. I've received the code now, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in, 93113. And you can check to have it not ask again and remember this device, but I'm going to go ahead and leave that unchecked for now. And we've now signed in, and we're back on the device dashboard. I want to thank you for watching this video today. I'm taking the time to quickly see some key features about Lumics and what we believe can help you and help you in your job and keep things less noisy and help you focus on what's important. So please reach out to us and let us help you get a free trial set up and also get you the visibility that you're missing. Thanks.